So, let's look back for a little bit. You'll recall that just a year ago, at the start of the fall semester, we welcomed the largest full-time undergraduate enrollment in our history. It was a big deal. It was a product of significant improvements in our retention, and it was combined with very successful recruitment of new freshmen and transfer students. Then the fall semester started to roll along, and we heard increasingly sobering news regarding the economy. The chaos included severe downturns in the stock market, the freezing of credit by banks, and the beginnings of dramatic increases in unemployment. Private colleges and universities across the country began to implement cost savings measures. And we read about those: hiring freezes, salary freezes, cutbacks in benefits, termination of capital projects. Just this past week, if you read the Chronicle online like I do, you probably saw the article, a survey, and it was reported that, quote, 2/3 of private colleges plan to freeze salaries and 53% are cutting benefits, close quote. About 9% of private colleges actually had reductions in pay across the board. I know I visited with my Jesuit friend, the president of Spring Hill College in Mobile, Alabama. They cut their salaries 7% this fall. In Wisconsin, we've watched the unemployment rate exceed 9%. We've witnessed unprecedented shortfalls in the state's budget projections. Our governor has announced that he's not running for re-election, and this morning's headline said the mayor is trying to figure out how he's going to balance the city budget. It's definitely a challenging time all around us. Here at Edgewood, we also initiated steps designed to assure that we could continue to balance our budget. The two most visible actions that we took included a 5% reduction in operating budgets within each vice presidential area, and the prospect of a salary freeze if we are not able to achieve our revenue goals for this fall. For now, we need to operate under the assumption that these steps will be necessary, though we will revisit these decisions after our fall revenue situation becomes more clear. Many other smaller but vital steps were taken to reduce our costs or to drive revenue through new programs. Many of these steps were suggested by staff and faculty in the room today, members of the college community all across who gave us ideas and prevented us from having to take more dramatic action. We've just received the results of our audit and closed out our books on the last fiscal year. Because of that record full-time undergraduate enrollment, coupled with conservative fiscal management in a number of areas, our results for last year clearly exceeded our expectations. I'm very happy to share some positive news on that regard. Our revenue over expenditures, our bottom line, for the last fiscal year came to just over $2 million. I'll say that again. Our revenue over expenditures for the past fiscal year came to just over $2 million. We'll be meeting on Thursday with our Finance and Audit Committee of the Board, and we'll review these results, and we will share some recommendations for approval by our full board on September the 10th. There are two steps that are very likely to come from the deliberations with the board. The first, we will be recommending that we replenish the transformation fund. This is the most effective way that we can encourage new programs and meet the strategies outlined in our strategic plan, the roadmap to achieving our vision. For example, the funds for Gen Ed and assessment and the physical renovations all came from the transformation fund. The second is that we set aside dollars in unrestricted funds, given the continued uncertainty in the economy. Especially in this economic setting, having sufficient cash on hand is a key indicator of financial viability, and it's a safeguard against any future enrollment decreases. It might be helpful to put into perspective the size of that positive variance compared with our total budget, which is now over $42 million annually. Do your math. The college currently spends over $3.5 million per month on expenditures. That's our normal expenditures. That means that a $2 million would cover approximately 2.5 weeks of our operating budget. Dick Kientz, our CFO, will give you more details about both our budget for the past year and look ahead at the steps we are taking this year. As we look forward, it's helpful to compare where we were last year at the time when we were and where we expect to be this fall. I mentioned earlier that last fall we set a record for full-time undergraduate enrollment. It's very unlikely that we're going to match that record enrollment in the near future because of a combination of factors. We graduated a record number last year, and the expectations are that both our freshman class and the number of new transfer students will be smaller than they were last year. Our enrollment numbers will also be determined by the retention rate for the returning students and our ability to attract adult and graduate students. All of this means there's a lot of uncertainty until students actually attend classes and pay their tuition. However, we do know that smaller entering classes make our focus on retention more important than ever. I'm grateful for all that you do that encourages students to continue to choose Edgewood, even in difficult financial times. You can anticipate that we will continue to be conservative in our enrollment projections for the coming year. In fact, a conservative approach to budgeting has been a primary reason that we've been able to withstand this downturn without taking more of the dramatic actions that other schools have taken. Scott Flanagan will be sharing with you in a few moments some of the reasons why we'll continue to adopt this cautious approach. Now, let's look ahead. More important than anything else, we must focus on keeping this college strong for the future. While other schools have chosen to try to ride out the storm, we are continuing to invest for the future. We've done that by filling every full-time faculty position that was recommended by the deans during this past academic year. We've continued to invest in our infrastructure. This week, much of the renovation work is being finalized as we add 9 new faculty offices and upgrade the space that serves students in the registrar, financial aid, and business office. The area is now known as Edgewood Central. We have added at least 3 new academic programs with a master's in reading, a post-baccalaureate program in nursing, and a program in rural and economic development, plus the additional cohort that we mentioned earlier in the EDD program. These give us an opportunity to drive new revenue. In a challenging time for fundraising, we're also continuing to seek gifts, and that would allow us to construct a new academic facility to serve art, graphic arts, art therapy, and a black box theater. This planned facility remains our top priority, but it will require a number of significant gifts before groundbreaking can occur. Several faculty members have volunteered to assist us in working with potential donors, and we will keep you posted on our progress during the year. There are many, many other examples. The key point is this: we've taken a sound, planned approach which has positioned us well to withstand these difficult economic times. And we're taking every step to make sure that the college is poised for long-term success. I'm a natural optimist, and I see a few other rays of sunshine that I want to share with you. We have a beautiful campus where top-notch faculty engage our students with high-quality academic programs. We are increasing our retention of first-year students through our focus on quality teaching, engaging students in campus life, and working together to identify and assist those students who are struggling. And we've made a big difference on that retention rate, and we need to continue to do that. We have a growing population in this state of Hispanic students, and we're in a good position to serve those students. Plus, we've demonstrated the ability to attract and serve well students of color, as demonstrated by this year's freshman class, where more than 15% will be diverse students. And last year's retention rate, the students of color persisted at the same rate as all other students. We're located in Madison, a top choice for so many young people and adults to pursue their college degree. And we have the opportunity to gain market share right here in Dane County. We will continue to encourage innovation and creativity in developing and offering programs that fit within our mission and serve the needs of our region. The new programs I mentioned before demonstrate how the college, students, and the local community all benefit unwavering partnership to meet emerging educational needs. There is no way that any of us can project how long this economy will continue to impact Wisconsin and families that normally would be attracted to our campus. We know that economists are telling us the recession is winding down, but they're also saying that unemployment could last high for the next 3 years, and it will only come down slowly. But we can focus on maintaining a very strong sense of community that includes our faculty, staff, and students, as well as alums and supporters. Next May, we will conduct graduation ceremonies as we conclude our 82nd academic year. Let's set our sights right now on working together to make this one of the most rewarding years in our history. Challenging times bring people together, and they call forth our creativity and ingenuity in finding ways to meet or exceed our goals. This is the perfect year to celebrate the value of partnership. Times of change are often difficult, and it's normal to feel some uncertainty as changes happen around us, and it can be tempting to just hunker down. But our Dominican heritage teaches us otherwise. Now is the time to seek out those partnerships, certainly with students in the local community, but also with one another, breaking down silos within the campus and working together to get things done. In that tradition, Edgewood College has survived difficult times before by staying focused on our mission, by acting as a community, and by developing partnerships that meet the needs of those around us. We're prepared to do the same today. Let's make sure that 9 months from now, as we graduate the class of 2010, each one of us has done everything we can to make the year of partnership a year of which we can all be proud. Thanks for all that you do. I think we'll move forward without question. And Scott Flanagan is up next. So let's give Scott a big welcome.